The one that adored an American actor, John Ritter, with his role as Jack Tripper in the celebrated show Three's Company, was lost for words. His art of making the audience laugh and a warm and sweet personality won him the hearts of millions of people in the late 1970s and the beginning of the 1980s. Ritter's career embraced all the branches of show business, such as television, movies, and the theater, and he kept on working continuously throughout his career, including his lead role in the sitcom 8 Simple Rules. Ritter already had a heart problem, which was not detected. He was fit and healthy from the outside, but inside he had an untreated aortic dissection, which is a very serious condition where the inner wall of the aorta tears. On the 11th of September 2003, while rehearsing for 8 Simple Rules, Ritter was seized by a sudden illness when he was coming on stage, which brought him the suffering of the severest chest pain with nausea. He was immediately taken to the hospital, where doctors mistakenly diagnosed his condition as being a heart attack. Despite the immediate surgery done to the part of the aorta wall causing the tear, Ritter died that evening at the age of 54. John Ritter's death broke the hearts of his admirers and colleagues too, because he was actively coming back up. His demise was a wake-up call to people that undiagnosed heart diseases can be dangerous and the need for early detection. Ritter's work is his eternal monument, and he is remembered as one of television's funniest icons among the great actors and comedians generation. James Gandolfini, an American actor, is acclaimed not only in the United States, but also globally for his role as Tony Soprano in HBO's TV drama, The Sopranos. His acting as a conflicted crime boss that had won him several Emmy Awards not only made him a star, but also established him as TV's most significant actor. In addition to his TV success, Gandolfini's film credits include movies like True Romance and The Mexican. One of the subjects the actor wrestled with throughout his life was his weight, which posed a significant hazard of heart disease in his context. Furthermore, he was known to be a heavy eater and drinker, which was also a major cause of his health problems. Nevertheless, Gandolfini did not let that stop him from acting, and he was constantly trying out new roles in both film and television. On June 19, 2013, Gandolfini, while he was vacationing in Rome, Italy, had a heart attack that was so sudden and massive that he had fallen in his hotel room. His teenage son discovered him, and he was rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, the doctors could not revive him. Gandolfini, at the age of 51, died affirmatively due to this heart attack. His family was thus in mourning, and countless fans were also shaken. The loss of life affected everybody. In short, the deceased was still at the peak of their career and was met with a great deal of sorrow and surprise. Much of television, in which he played the role of Tony Soprano, the notorious gangster, remains in the minds of television history. Alan Thicke was best remembered for portraying Dr. Jason Seaver on the popular TV and Growing Pains sitcom that ran from 1985 to 1992. The combination of Thicke's charisma and his skill of making people laugh made him a television favorite. Along with that, he was a successful songwriter and talk show host. Thicke did exercise regularly, and he always looked vibrant and healthy, even in his 60s. Nevertheless, like many people, he was surprisingly struck by heart disease. Although Thicke had no recorded history of heart problems, his age was still a common risk factor for heart problems, as he was at an advanced age. On the 13th of December in 2016, Thicke collapsed suddenly while playing hockey with his son. He was immediately taken to a neighboring hospital, where he was declared dead not long after he was brought in. His death was ultimately accredited to a ruptured aorta. He was 69 years old at his time of death. People reacting to the news of Alan Thicke's death were touched the most, as he was a vibrant and leading character in Hollywood for quite some time. His sudden demise was the most upsetting, and his dying unanticipatedly served as a big warning of the unpredictability of heart disease. The legacy of Thicke is present through his work on Growing Pains and his contributions to television and music. Carrie Fisher, an American actress and writer, was famous mainly because of the pivotal character of Princess Leia that she played in the Star Wars film series. Fisher expressed a deep warrior spirit with her Leia's role, who was a brave, strong, and witty character that gave young girls a role model to admire. To her acting credits, Fisher was also known as a very successful author whose wit and candor on her personal battles with mental health and drug addiction were very compelling. Fisher talked openly about her substance abuse issues throughout her years. Those, plus her bipolar disorder that she was dealing with for years, probably took their toll on her health. Moreover, Fisher had some heart issues in the years that passed. However, she still managed to work and be engaged in her career. On December 23, 2016, Fisher got a heart attack while on a flight from London to Los Angeles. She was not conscious when the plane landed, so she was quickly taken to a Los Angeles hospital where she was put on a ventilator. Despite the efforts of healthcare workers, Fisher never woke up and died on December 27, 2016, at 60 years old. The officially stated cause of the death was a combination of sleep apnea, and the presence of drugs in her system was also noted. Carrie Fisher's death has caused waves of mourning in the entertainment industry and among fans, especially because it was so close to her mother's death just a few days before that. Fisher's role as Princess Leia in the world of literature is and will always be a highlight, considering her still unique performance in the movie and youth, as well as her support towards mental health awareness. Her honesty in her addiction and bipolar disorder acts as an educative lesson on the topic, free from the stigma that has dogged it since the script of the play was written, thereby solidifying her position as a source of strength among people. Bernie Mac, Bernard Jeffrey McCullough's public moniker, was a comedian and actor, as well as one who was catapulted to stardom by his stand-up comedy and his role in the sitcom The Bernie Mac Show. His quick thinking and the inimitable comedy style were instrumental in making him a respected personality in the sphere of comedy. Bernie Mac was also featured in several hit movies like Ocean's 11, Bad Santa, and Mr. 3000. During his life, Bernie Mac fought with sarcoidosis, an illness that is characterized by inflammation and can impact the lung and other parts of the body. As a result, breathing problems, which subsequently put pressure on his heart, were frequent. He nevertheless went on to work hard and perform even if he was not well. Such was his dedication to his craft. At the beginning of August 2008, Bernie Mac was admitted to a Chicago hospital for pneumonia that had developed into pneumonia, a complication of his sarcoidosis. He even had a heart attack, resulting from the treatment of the problem and some other health complications. Due to his critical state, he was placed on a ventilator. His situation, however, did not improve, and on August 9, 2008, Bernie Mac died at 50 years old. Bernie Mac's unanticipated death caused so much sorrow in the entertainment world, as he was at the peak of his career, and the fans had grown to like him because of his wit and authenticity. Indeed, his show, The Bernie Mac Show, had remained as one of the best TV shows, giving a realistic portrayal of what families are like. Each piece of work, be it his comedy, screen, and television acting, or his giving people feelings of elation, are examples of the legacy Bernie Mac left on this earth. Robert Palmer, a British singer and musician, is celebrated as the man with the deep voice, and the inclusion of a wide variety of musical genres he infused in his work, namely rock, pop, jazz, and blues, is noticed. He became well known with hits like Addicted to Love and Simply Irresistible, which both became anthem songs of the 80s. Palmer's smooth, slick look and exciting music videos really underlined his position as a pop culture icon. Palmer gained fame through his heavy smoking habit, which is said to have been one of the reasons for his heart issues. The time he spent in good health throughout his career, the long-term effects of smoking still hurt his cardiovascular system. However, even after this, Palmer fought the odds and continued music production and touring, thus becoming a surviving figure in the industry until the day he departed. On September 26, 2003, Palmer, while enjoying his stay in Paris, had a sudden and fatal heart attack. He was only 54 at the time of his death. People couldn't believe that he got lost, the public and the music scene, as there was not a single piece of information about any health issue before. Robert Palmer's death was a big blow to the music world, as his was a unique voice. His contribution to the influence of rock and pop music through his avant-garde music video usage is remarkable as well. Palmer is known for his different style, which includes his creative music and aspects of his visual appeal, and his work is esteemed by both his fans and other music artists. George Michael, previously known as Georgios Kyriakos, is a British singer, songwriter, and record producer who found worldwide fame as a part of the pop duo Wham, and then as a solo artist. Michael's chart toppers such as Careless Whisper, Faith, and Last Christmas were the period's emblematic tracks, and therefore he was among the most successful pop artists ever. His entire life, Michael was surrounded by multiple life issues like substance use and legal trouble. It is highly possible that these factors led to his declining health, together with the stress of fame. Michael, notwithstanding all these problems, was still active as an artist and performer. However, his latter performances were not as frequent as those in his early years. A few years ago, on December 25, 2016, George Michael was discovered deceased in his residence in Goring-on-Thames, England. At first, it was thought that he had died of heart failure, yet later it transpired that he had succumbed to dilated cardiomyopathy with myocarditis and fatty liver. Michael was 53 at that time. George Michael's death on the holy day of Christmas was exceedingly sad and led to the mourning of fans and fellow artists who had viewed him as a musical icon. His pop music contributions, his remarkable voice, and his support for the LGBTQ+ community are some of the legacies he has left. George Michael's music is timelessly loved by so many, and he is truly thought of as one of the most talented and influential musical artists of his era. His largesse, which he expressed both through his songs and charitable works, is an essential part of his legend. Dick Cheney, an American politician and businessman, served as the 46th Vice President of the United States under President George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. Cheney was a prominent and powerful U.S. Vice President, famous for his strong support of conservative principles, particularly in the areas of defense and foreign policy. He spent a long career in the public sector, including such roles as the White House Chief of Staff, Secretary of Defense, and U.S. Representative, before being Vice President in the United States. Furthermore, anyone who has ever heard about Dick Cheney knows how much the problem with his heart was. Such ailments as heart disease had a significant impact on him. In fact, he encountered his first heart attack when he was only 37 years old in 1978, and still more heart attacks occurred. A bypass surgery and a pacemaker were implanted. High cholesterol and smoking were among other health issues to his heart. This was one of the most difficult times in Cheney's life, as he was told by the medical team that he could only survive a few months if no action was taken. On March 24, 2012, the 71-year-old Dick Cheney went through a heart transplant because of the worsening condition of his heart. The surgery was done successfully, and Cheney lived for a few more years after the operation, carrying on many activities, such as participating in life, writing his autobiography, and teaching children. The latest reports are that Cheney is still alive, and he is a well-known figure in the U.S. His health issues are still a matter of concern for many people nonetheless. His contribution to U.S. policy, especially during the period following the 9/11 tragedy, is one of the aspects of Cheney's legacy that makes it difficult to analyze him because of his massive effect on U.S. politics. In the years that followed the heart transplant, his health problems and the accompanying issues of heart disease have continued to serve as reminders of the importance of medical progress in keeping people alive. Dick Cheney is a controversial figure who played a significant role in the American political scene and was known for his strong resolve against illness. David Frost was an English journalist, comedian, and TV host who was best known for his relentless and provoking interviews and a key figure in television history in Britain. Throughout his life, David Frost was a popular public figure and was most famous due to his interviews with former U.S. President Richard Nixon that were later adapted into stage and film productions, the most well-known one being Frost Nixon. One vocal part of his time with That Was the Week That Was the satirical puppetry. Frost's interviews were held in high regard, mainly due to the in-depth mode he employed and how he could extract honesty from his interviewers. Frost was not only bringing a healthy lifestyle, but, like many of his professions, he was dealing with the difficulties of a high-ranking position. Coupled with nearly no heart issues at all, he suffered health disturbances due to his career requirements and air travel as he got older. Whereas he was expected to deliver a keynote speech, David Frost got a myocardial infarction and died on a cruise ship. He was 74 years old and unhappy. It was his sudden death that really stunned everyone, since he had been quite active and motivated in his work all the way through. David Frost's demise marked the end of an era in British journalism. He was not only known for what he did on the TV, but also for him being a very affable person that everybody can relate to. Nixon's interview, the Frost-Nixon, and of course were favorites among fans, and the very moments that were declared the history of television. It was Frost's gift to create a whole new media, that innovative form of media that, during his lifetime, white people were fond of, and that is the basis of his fame in journalism and television, regardless of the passing of time. Frost's innovative works still set the standard in broadcast journalism and television and continue to be lauded across the airwaves. James Brown, known as the Godfather of Soul, was an American singer, songwriter, and dancer. This music legend had a huge impact on the music scene and popular culture that is hard to quantify. Moreover, he made hits such as I Got You, I Feel Good, and Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, with which he turned the music industry upside down due to his pioneering of the funk genre and the incredible influence on artists in a wide range of styles of music. His energetic stage show and the ability to appeal to both his career successes and deeply felt personal issues, divided his life into separate periods. He was involved in a number of lawsuits and was addicted to drugs, which could be the reason for his health problems in his later years. Furthermore, continually worsening Brown's health, diabetes, a known risk factor for heart disease and other chronic conditions, was the main feature of his selection of an unhealthy lifestyle. On the 25th of December 2006, James Brown was taken to a hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, after he fell ill with severe pneumonia. While he initially seemed to respond well to the therapy, his condition worsened rapidly, and he was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, which caused his death in the end. James Brown was 73 years old at the time of his death.